Welcome, everybody, to the Jim Masters Show, live entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series. We've got an extraordinary guest coming to us from New York City, acclaimed model, actress, extraordinary designer, and creator of the fantastic fashions from Devon Halsey. We're going to talk about that in just a second. It's brand new, very exciting. And Dara Tomanovich is with us here. And you've seen her in a lot of different things over the years as a model and actress. Did you know she was in Biodome with Pauly Shore? Yeah, she's been in a lot of great productions and film and television and more, and an extraordinary, revered, and beloved model. But she's also an incredible entrepreneur, business person, and so much more. She's an internationally acclaimed Canadian American model and actress and entrepreneur, best known for her role in the Pauly Shore comedy Biodome. She's joining us here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show live series. She's also starred in the movies being Flynn, Bar Hopping, Perfect Target, Pups, Amnesia, and lots more. And she's appeared in a variety of television shows too, including The Highlander, Nash Bridges, Diagnosis Murder, Just Shoot Me, The Practice, Family Affair, and Secret Agent Man as well. Yes, her career as a model and actress started thanks to a fateful trip and a visit to a friend working in Paris. And while abroad, Dara happened to meet with the internationally renowned German fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld, who, after recognizing her talent, cast her as a new lead model for the fashion house Chloe at the age of 18. And as the face of Chloe, Dara, while her career began to take off and she was able to book a campaign with the cosmetic line L'Oreal, in which she had the opportunity to work with phenomenal photographers. And she also lived in Paris working as a model for 5 years, during which that time, the highlights of her career included gracing the cover of the French edition of Marie Claire and appeared in advertisements for the British edition of Vogue and lots more. And after moving to New York from Paris, she began studying as well and that's acting, at the William Esper Studio in Manhattan. And of course, using the very famous Meisner technique. And she also appeared with Academy Award winner George Clooney in a television campaign for the Italian car manufacturer Fiat. She's also graced the cover of high-end fashion magazines, including Marie Claire, Vogue, and lots more. And she has created the phenomenal women's luxury golf brand, Devon Halsey, which is changing the name and changing the game in active lifestyle wear, where fashion meets functionality. Her impeccable taste in colors, cuts, plus knowing what women really want, has led the way. And we're so excited to have her here on the show because, again, she's extraordinary. She loves what she does. You see her on the screen there in sort of our promo graphic form, but now you're going to see her live coming to us from New York City, and there might even be a special surprise guest who's going to pop in as well. Dara, welcome to the Jim Masters Show, my friend. How are you?
I'm going to say it again. Most excellent.
Most excellent. Yes, she said it to me off the air. Most excellent. I like that. Excellent. Yeah. She mentioned that to me when we were chatting. You know, we do a little chat and prep and everything before we go live on the air, everybody. Hey, we welcome everybody that's listening and watching all around the world. We have an international audience of JMS Lovedies, and they've been commenting. We see a lot of comments in the Lovedy Hole chat room. If you'd like to comment and interact, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. It doesn't cost anything, and you can comment exclusively in the JMS Lovedy Hole chat room. So you are in the city, in the Chelsea area right now, but you also make your home out east on Long Island in Sag Harbor and also Los Angeles as well, right, Dara?
Yeah. I'm in LA in the winter. I'm in New York in the summer.
So you're going to be heading to LA.
Don't hate me. Halloween, after Halloween.
Yes. And what is that like going back and forth from coast to coast? Is it something you've always done, or is it something you've done recently?
Great question. Yes, I used to do that all the time. I had a place way before the whole west side of New York was developed. I had a place at 130 Barrow Street, and just about 1 block south of Christopher in the day. And I was just started my film career. And I had a loft at 130 and I had a house in the Hollywood Hills I just bought because in my mind, I thought I'm going to buy a house and win an Academy Award. That's what
Right, exactly.
when you're like young and aspirational and everything, and you think, you've got your whole life planned out the way it's going to go down. Well, don't plan. But yeah, so I did that back and forth. And you didn't mention this because I don't think a lot of people know, but I have 2 degrees from journalism from UCLA. So on top of my resume, I went back to school when I was working as an actor and did night school and summer school and online and anything I could to finish 3 years and 2 and get like an honors degree in journalism because I wanted to have something just in case nothing turned out.
Now, is that something that you also wanted to pursue? And is that
Yeah.
something you still could dabble into?
Sure. I think, one day I'll write a book, like a memoir or something for me, I think for me and my nieces. So they have something, because I've led a pretty crazy, incredible life so far. And it's turned another corner and it's just as brilliant and as interesting and dynamic, if not more so at this point. Cause I'm older and wiser about things, but yeah, it's different, but good different,
She's, as I call it, she's a seasoned veteran now.
Yes. Yeah.
So the acting bug early on, what came first for you? Was it the modeling or the acting?
Modeling.
Sometimes it's either or. So modeling was the first. So what spurred you into modeling? I mentioned going to, Paris and all those wonderful opportunities that came that way. But early on, was it something you always dreamed of, or did people spot you and say, here, we're going to take you because you would be fantastic at this? How did it happen for you?
I grew up very strict. My family's from Eastern Europe. I'm first generation Montenegrin Serb. So my parents really had my brother and I like locked down. So I found movies to be a form of escape. And the first movie I ever saw was Superman when I was in grade 5. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is amazing. And I would love to go see movies. And then I was working just back from Paris, and I was on these big billboards in Toronto. I'd shot this campaign for a company called, this is way back in the day, Daniel Hester. And I'd shot this, and Roger Donaldson was in town, and they were shooting this movie with Brian Brown and this little known actor named Tom Cruise. They were shooting Cocktails. And Roger Donaldson saw me on the billboard and said, put that girl in front of Tom Cruise. So then they found me. And what ended up happening was they didn't ask me if I was part of ACTRA. They didn't ask me anything. They gave me lines.
Really?
I spent 2 weeks in front of Tom Cruise. I was so captivated by his level of professionalism, how hard he worked, how immersed he was in this. And I thought to myself, this is something I could do. I could do this. I could try this. So he was my first inspiration into all this. So from that moment on afterwards, when I'd come back to New York, I decided to actually go see Bill Esper, wonderful coach, who's unfortunately no longer with us. But we had Aaron Eckhart came out of there. Sam Rockwell came out of there. Like some really fun in my generation, my time. But Matthew Settle, a bunch of people came out of that did quite well in Hollywood. So yeah, it was all about Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, I tell you. Huh?
I did get this close to Vanilla Sky. I know that, to a big part in Vanilla Sky. So I was like, it's going to be. But yeah, the second time I ever got close to Tom Cruise was on the slopes in Telluride. Other than that, it just never happened again. But
it was all downhill from there.
It was all downhill from there, but yeah, true story.
So as far as the opportunities with acting, what would you say was the very first monumental door opening opportunity that really sort of launched everything for you? And people started to say,
Biodome,
he's really talented. She's really Biodome.
Biodome.
I mean, what a great thing to be in, you know what I mean? To start out in.
Yeah, Biodome was awesome for me. I had Sandra Bullock's agent from UTA wanted to represent me at the time. I had so many doors open. But what was really hard about that was I didn't have again, it's always about the support and the people around you. I didn't have the right people around me. And at the time, I was always just like a good girl from Canada. I thought being loyal to people, eventually I could make it. But it's not how it works in Hollywood. In Hollywood, you have to get like package dealt into things. You have to go for those opportunities when they arise. And I just kind of didn't. I just waited for other people. I trusted a specific person that was managing me at the time. But it's like everything happens for a reason. So it's not a bad thing. But in hindsight, when I go back, I wish I had the knowledge that I have today to circumvent my career and make my own decisions for myself, right? That's the thing. It was a big growth spurt for me. Having said that, I don't know where I'd be today. I don't know if I'd be as happy as I am today if I had, had more doors open. Because acting isn't easy. It's not easy at all. People don't understand that modeling and acting. I mean, now you can see the supermodels are on TV, what Cindy Crawford produced and put out there. I used to think this was my era. I was just like a few years younger than these ladies, but this was Linda Evangelista is from Toronto, St. Catharines, just like I'm from Toronto, from the beaches. There's, and I know Cindy and Christy was always around, and I would, have dinner sitting beside Naomi Campbell at events and things. So they were always exceptionally beautiful, untouchable women to me. And to hear their story like that, I've always felt kind of like they were up here and I was somewhere around here. It's not the case. You have a different perspective now when you get older. You start to realize like they were going through the same thing you were going through. You were hearing the same stories they were hearing at the same time. It was all about the choices you made, right?
Yes.
And who you also allowed to make those choices for you, right?
Yeah.
And at what expense those choices are made. So
which we tend to do in the early years because we just want to make the connections and we want to be seen and launch and get something going, and you end up sort of doing that. But then you come to a point like you seem to be at now where you can sort of call your own shots. I'll do projects that speak to me, that inspire me, that, really make a difference. And that takes time to get to that point, but it's a sweet spot to be, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a wonderful spot to be. And it just doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen like that. I was about 12 years ago, I went into this, I deep dove into my consciousness, and I literally, and this is going to sound weird, but I really just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. I didn't think my programming was serving me as a woman, the way that I was raised, what I thought, my traditional values, it wasn't, the world was changing around me. And what I did was I took literally time off. And what I did was, I'm a very firm believer in wellness, mindfulness. I'm a student of Vipassana meditation. I went into this whole thing where I just couldn't stop crying for weeks on end. And I said, what is wrong with me?
What did you think was the trigger? Did you feel that what you were doing wasn't serving you anymore?
What I felt was that like I was a freak amongst all my friends, and they were so easy. Everybody kind of was leading their lives and they were just okay with their life. I wanted more for myself.
Right.
And I realized like the way that I thought is maybe not the best way to think, like my programming, B, C.
You made a lot of sacrifices.
Right. I made a lot of sacrifices, and I needed to find my truth. I needed to find myself. And in every scripture, no matter whether you're anything, Hindu, Buddhism, the Torah, the Quran, the Bible, to know thyself is the most important thing that'll bring you closer to peace. And what I did was I did a 10-day Vipassana course up in Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts. And that broke me. Those 10 days broke my reactive mind, broke the way I thought, changed perspective on things. I liked myself much better. And then I would retreat to the desert and go visualize and manifest and read books. I was really open to people that are now become on trend, like Joe Dispenza, people that were really, I was always constantly reading these, not kooky self-help books, but actually like out of, Sam Smith, like other thoughts, nanotechnology thoughts, quantum physics thoughts, what we are on this life, what is our purpose, Japanese, the Ikaiji, your
So
purpose.
you were seeking and searching.
I've always been seeking and searching, but I reached a point where at this point I had to rip off all the blankets and really go for the rawness of it all and figure out who am I? Because I didn't want to spend the next 50 years of my life as a woman without a child and not married. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life having regrets or thinking that I did something wrong or there was something wrong with me because I didn't conform to the natural path of what women are, or my friends. And, I had a lot of friends around me that said, don't have children, they're vampires. And, or, you give up your life and things. And there was like a lot of information coming at me that was just kind of hard to hear. Everyone thought that the grass was greener in my life and that my life was easier. But I kind of felt I had to try harder and I had to think outside the box a little bit. And from that came growth, faith, belief, growth in myself. And I wanted to very much study what was going on with me, so that when COVID happened, what happened for me was it offered me silence. It actually, the world stopped.
Yeah, right. Which was actually a good thing.
For me, it was a good thing. Okay. And I know a lot of people went through a lot, but for me, it was a good thing because I started to also realize that I wasn't like dysfunctional, that I wasn't, like you kind of always parallel yourself to the people around you and you go, oh, why can't I have that way? I don't have a jealousy bone in my body. I'm not envious of people. I always think if that person could do it, I can do it too. I'm always inspired. I don't know if that's a Canadian thing. I don't know. Canadians are we're pretty kind of like kind people. We have a good, world outlook on things. We're very simple people. And I just thought like, I just wanted more for myself. And I realized I had to do it. So when I was introduced to golf, I was introduced to golf at Sandy Lane in Barbados. And I used to go to Barbados all the time to go surfing because it's a Commonwealth country. And that's where you go from Toronto. You'll go to Barbados or you go to a Commonwealth country because they're safe. And I would windsurf and then I would surf and then I would kite. Well, I thought, well, there's the Green Monkey. There's the course there that Tiger Woods got married at Sandy Lane. I'm going to go. And I happened to be with somebody and they were like, where do you want to go? And I said, let's go to Sandy Lane. They were a golfer. They taught me how to golf. And I learned how to golf and they couldn't believe how well I was golfing. They're like, how come you can golf like that? You've golfed. And I said, no, I used to play ice hockey in Canada.
Right, so exactly.
With the ball. And then I was like having a lot of fun because I was having these incredible conversations with people. There was this incredible sense of family and grace and these rules that were interesting for me. And from that moment on, I started to be aware that I had nothing to wear. My first golf lesson was in a pair of cashmere track pants in 100 degrees in Barbados with like a James Pierce cut off cotton t-shirt and Nike shoes. I mean, this was not protocol, right? But I went into the shop, I couldn't find anything. Like I couldn't find anything to wear. I was not looking cute at all. And I wanted to look cute because I just wanted to, I don't know, excel. It's like aloe yoga. You wear the clothes, makes you feel better. You think you're a better yogi. It's like, I thought if I find the right clothes, my psyche would be like, I'm a better player. And I'll be like that. I would role play, right? I would act, I would improvise, I would role play. And what ended up happening was I started realizing there's something going on here. This is a boys' club. There aren't that many women that golf. I remember dating a guy for 9 years. It was awesome. He would take off for 10 hours a day and go golfing. I was alone. It was perfect. It was a great relationship. Come home happy and I be home happy. It's kind of, but when I got into the golf and I got into the spirit of the golf and I started to understand the game, I felt I was challenging myself, and every day it was different and every day it was a different experience. And what that brought me also was perspective and also a pentameter or a tempo that progressed into my everyday behavior. Right? Yeah. Are you a golfer, Jim?
Actually, I do play. Yeah, I do tennis. I do tennis more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tennis has always been, you mentioned Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts. Yeah. That's a favorite place of ours. And we're going next weekend. We go every fall because of the flowers, the Bridge of Flowers. You've been there, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Isn't that a great area?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a great part of
New England.
Yeah. It's a really beautiful part of America. And yeah, and to, you know, life is very interesting, right?
It
Life is a
is.
very interesting thing. And then over COVID, I remember I got sick over COVID. COVID actually sent me into the hospital a little bit earlier,
Did
and
it?
I got sick over COVID, and I had a personal issue, and I just was like, I've got to quit what I'm doing. I can't model anymore. I don't really want to act anymore. And I just kind of wanted to do something different. And this kind of, I thought, what do I want to do? And I thought, I want to make clothes for women. I want to break the code. I want to make clothes for women. And I want this, you know, women to be part of this because we can. I kind of felt also that the society was working that way also, you know,
Yes.
but
Had
I
you
wasn't.
always had designer aspirations? Were you
Well,
always
my mom was always
doodling, creating,
My
always
mom was always knitting, crocheting. I'm like needle pointing as a kid. My
mine
dad and
too?
mom always dressed well as immigrants. They always dressed well, socially and like privately as well. So for me, that was always very easy to be, you know, my appearance to
You
show
were
up.
used to it, familiar,
I was
right?
very familiar with it. And I just wanted to create clothes for myself, right? That I
Right.
wanted to wear. And then when Timothy was onboarded and I started putting like Chanel combat boots with the tennis dress, right? Golf tennis dress, or I started putting like high heel, like diamond Christian Louboutin shoes with like, you know, joggers and things. He was like, okay, I see what you're doing. And that's when he said, you need to meet my friend Wayne Scott Lucas. And I said, who's that? And he said, wait for it. And I was like, what? He said,
Right.
wait for it. And it's interesting because I didn't know who Wayne was, but I've certainly admired his work.
Knew of his work, right?
Oh, I knew of
Exactly.
it. I
Yeah.
admired it. Yeah, I'm a huge Janet Jackson fan, huge Tina Turner fan. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that was it for me. All Timmy said was, he said that, you know, he put Tina Turner in that silver dress, and I went, what? You
Hmm.
know him? He goes, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, bring him on. And we got him on a plane, and he was in my house 2 days before I got there, and he created a campaign for me, both Tim and Wayne. Tim shot a campaign, Wayne styled a campaign for me that spoke volumes to me because I wanted to remember in 1995, 96 when we were all happy. Remember there was the Benetton campaign and you had
Yes.
different people of different ethnicities wearing different colorful clothes. And it was all Tiziano Magni shot that. It was all over everywhere. And I kind of felt like at that time when I was living in Paris as well, it was like the incredible supermodel era. And I felt that if I could recreate a time like that where everyone was flourishing, a memory, you know, bring back a memory that maybe it could like put a smile on people's face that they remembered something like that, you know, and just try to build from there an image, a brand that spoke to everybody, you know, and was colorful. And that's what Devon Halsey was. And both Timothy and Wayne understood that, but then they both took it to an entirely different level. Jim, I sat in my house in shock for 2 weeks because I thought to myself, wait a second, I built this golf brand and I built the clothes for it, thousands of pieces of clothing I have to sell. And this is how I saw it. But my dream came true. Like both gentlemen actually made my dream come true. And it put me totally into shock what I was going to do. And that's Cara, beautiful Cara.
Oh, Cara Young, who was a guest on our show. Big
No,
fan.
not Cara Young, Cara Solek. Cara
Oh,
Young.
okay. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I hope Cara Young shoots my next campaign. That's Jiwon. She's this great, beautiful girl. They're both beautiful, smart, intelligent women, great models, made my clothes look awesome, play, you know, something to
Very
push
nice.
the envelope a little bit.
So how did you come up with the name, Devon
Oh my
Halsey?
God, this is a good one.
And people
So,
probably think you are Devon Halsey, right?
well, I am Devon Halsey.
Well, yes.
So I am Devon Halsey, true and
That's
true.
it.
25
right.
years ago okay, so Biodome, right? Biodome
Yes.
comes out. I always kind of flirted with the idea of not using my real name as a model or an actor
You know,
because
I've thought about that too occasionally, you know, for
yeah,
privacy and everything.
privacy and everything.
But
So,
Jim Masters, what would I change it to from that?
I don't know why I was like, what am I going to call myself? Jackson. I don't know why I was always wanting to call myself a man, like something completely different. But I shot
Maximilian.
Yeah, I shot Biodome. And then after I shot Biodome, I had a business manager, so no mail came to my house, just adverts and silly things that mailmen.
What
But
happened to you when you shot Biodome with Pauly Shore? I mean, I would imagine because of the exposure, the phone rang more and people were like, "Oh, who's she? What? Wow, what did we just see here? This is great."
yeah, well, also Stephen Baldwin just came off of shooting Usual
That's
Suspects,
right. Right.
right? And Kylie Minogue's career was about to have a whole reinvention as well, right? I was on Pauly. I have to say, not okay. You want a good story here? My father passed away the day before I started filming, so I
Um,
literally buried my father in Toronto and got on a plane and went to work the next day. And I worked for 28 days straight. My father was my everything. Worked for 28 days straight, and I remember after that I took a 3-month break. I couldn't function anymore. I had to kind of like just slow down and figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And also it was hard for me. It was hard for my family. And yeah, so what Pauly and Steven and
what
Kylie
was your
all,
dad like? What was his name?
my dad was um, he was a huge war hero in Montenegro. He has a Purple Heart. He had been through concentration camp twice. He escaped concentration camp in the former Yugoslavia and walked across the borders and got on a boat with a gun at Ellis Island. Lied about his age as a refugee with no papers so he could get in with his best friend. Ended up going to Florida, where he was called upon the Serbian community to come up to Toronto to build a church. And then met my mom, and the rest is history. My dad was amazing. My dad actually ended up becoming a psychiatrist for children. His specialty was suicidal teenagers.
Yeah,
So
very important work.
amazing. I had DSM-V 5 books, which
Yeah,
are classic case study books for actors,
yeah.
right? I grew up with those books in the house. So, I was,
How
yeah.
much of Dara is your father?
Uh, I'm going to say 90%. I'm going to say 90%. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it a tenacity, a can-do spirit, a passion for life?
These are good questions. I think it's the survivor instinct. I think, we had an incredible relationship, my father and I. I was 15 years old and he was sitting on the veranda, and I showed up on the back of a guy's motorcycle without a helmet on. And he said to me, "Come here." And he was very, you didn't want to get in trouble with him. And I came up to him and he said, "Who's the guy?" And I said, "Oh, just a friend from school." He said, "The person on the back is always the person that gets killed." Okay, Dad. He goes, "Listen, if you really want to ride motorcycles, I'll take you next year. You can get your license." Because in Canada, you get your drivers and everything at 16, right? And I said, "All right." So he didn't count that I would come back at 16 and ask him. And he said, "On one account, that your brother and your mother never find out." And I said,
Mm.
"Okay." So I had owned motorcycles while he was still alive. I rode motorcycles while he was still alive. I did up until 6 years ago. I retired. But we always had those conversations about motorcycles. And then when he passed away, my mom saw me on my bike coming home once, and she was just like, "Oh, how long have
Mortified.
you been doing that
Right.
for?" And I
Yeah,
said, "Since I was 16, your father." I said, "He knew."
yeah,
And she'd laugh. I mean, so we
yes.
definitely had an incredible connection. I think for him, he gave up his whole entire life as a defector to come to the land of opportunity, in that time. So for me, I'm quite the adventurer as well. I went to Japan when I was 17 for 6 months on a contract. That was tough. Tough being like, it was tough. You didn't have friends. It was bizarre. It was bizarre to work with people that worked you to death and couldn't communicate. It was very difficult.
What
And to
did
be
that do for you? What did you take away from that experience?
that I can say no, that I could say no, that a few things were asked of me that weren't kosher, to do, and I didn't feel comfortable. So I would say no, and they would push, and I would say no. You know, I think that was I always, if I didn't feel comfortable, knew to say no. It's not for me,
Right.
regardless of how much trouble it would get me in. I
Very
would always say that.
liberating to do that, isn't it?
It's liberating. And I think that's something that my father definitely taught me, you know, to be a little tough about that. See, that's the programming that didn't serve me when I turned 50. I couldn't be that hard as a woman. I had to be a little bit more, you know, kind, a little bit more gentle, a little bit more vulnerable, you know? And that's the thing I started to realize, because all my friends couldn't understand why I was so successful in one part of my life and why I wasn't personally have what they had, you
Were you
know?
always craving that other half?
I think as a woman, you know, you think you want sometimes things, but I see it more and more like more and more girls I know are okay with not starting families, or, you know, they realize it's difficult. It's very expensive to have children. You don't know what's going to happen to your kids, or this is a crazy world. I mean, look, I'm all for all of that. Right. I was hoping it would happen to me, but I didn't find the right person to have that with. That's the bottom line. It just didn't happen like that. I didn't trust it before. I didn't trust it before.
Yeah.
You know, and then you reach a point in your life where you make an amends with yourself and you decide, listen, this isn't like, you're good. You know, you go through that mourning period as a woman, and then you're okay, you know, because there's always a man or a relative around the corner that wants to kick you. Oh, it's so sad you don't have kids or you're not married. Well, I'm getting married. I got engaged. I'm getting married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, it's like I'm not that much of a loser in that department anymore. But I jokingly say that. You know? But
She's not acting the part. This part is real.
no, this part is real, and it put me in shock. Yeah. The gentleman who taught me how to play golf is the gentleman that's asked to marry me, who's very proud. He is my inspiration for Devon Halsey. He is he's definitely my my North Star. That's for sure. He's an amazing person.
Talk about a hole in one. He really,
Yeah.
you know, that's fantastic. Congratulations on that.
Thank
huh?
you. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the one that got me into golf. He's the one that
Took the time with you to,
took the
great.
time over COVID, saw something inside of me. It's so important that, I mean, it just, you know, and even it's interesting. It's just the law of attraction too. It's like once his name is David, once David came into my life, it was just a lot of things kind of fell into place.
Right. And it wasn't, oh, this is the actress, the model. This
No.
is you. And
Well, he had Googled me. So he had Googled me. I never Googled him. And then when I met him, we met in the lobby of the Chateau Marmont. I was going to the desert to go manifest and juice and do all this stuff near Desert Springs. And I met him the night before I left, but my friends all got wasted at the chateau. And I was watching them bounce back and forth. And I was like, hold on a second. It was 6 of them. I knew we were going to this party in the hills to see a Scorsese film that hadn't come out yet. The Irishman hadn't come out yet.
Yeah,
and with a bunch of people. And I just thought to myself, I can't handle 6 rowdy women at this point.
Mm.
And I said to him, do you want to come along? And you know what? He passed the test. Very few people can pass that test. Party in the Hollywood Hills, you know, something like that. That isn't of the Hollywood thing. He did a great job. And then he just kept asking me out and I kept saying no. Those, right?
The art of the chase.
Chase. Yes. He chased me down. You know, he deals with distressed businesses. So I think he recognized me as a bit of a distressed business and tried to clean me up a little.
That's it. So after 30 years, I mean, being Flynn, I mean, you were in some really epic movies, and I mentioned Diagnosis Murder and Just Shoot Me and Nash Bridges, one of my favorites on the planet.
I love Don Johnson. I think Don Johnson is an incredible actor, incredible actor.
Nash Bridges. I mean, all of these shows. And after this 30-year career in that role and those various roles, you decided it's time for that new challenge after the 30-year career as the model and actor. And you're the entrepreneur, and you have, like you mentioned, this phenomenal women's luxury golf brand, Devon Halsey. And it's, like I said earlier, it's really changing the game in active lifestyle where high fashion meets functionality, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us about it.
So this is,
Congratulations, too.
thank you. Thank you. So just to circle back, Devon Halsey was created. I put the name on the door. I thought it was a little devilish to change my name. So I went, wait a second, Devon, O-N, boy or girl. And I was doing voiceovers as well. I'd done PlayStation and Grand Theft Auto and stuff. And I was always sucking on Cherry Halls candy, and I called them Halseys. So it was like one of those Devon Halsey, put it on the door, nobody bugged me, because I started having prison mail after Biodome come to my house, which was a little strange for me. I got scared. I got like,
That happens a lot. Yeah.
and I just thought if I change the name on the door, it's, a false sense of whatever, deflect anything that goes by or whatever. And it actually worked. It worked. So
it's a terrific name. It's just
it.
something about the sound of it. Devon Halsey. There's just something that sounds, it's sophisticated, but yet it's warm, it's approachable, it's classy. It's like, it's hitting all those different, when I heard it first, I was like, that's like perfect. It's spot on.
Thank you. Well, I have a bit of an imagination. In Canada, it's cold. We have a very sarcastic.
I had a TV shoot in March in Edmonton.
Oh yeah, you win. That's beats any Toronto. Yeah,
Edmonton. Yeah.
Not beautiful, Chris.
Beautiful place. Yes, but it was not swimwear weather.
Yeah. Oh, how many swimwear things I shot like in the snow. Oof, that too. Anyway, so what ended up happening was I was purchasing golf clothes from clubs that I couldn't try on because you couldn't try anything on over COVID. So I would point at things that I knew what would fit my body. And then I would try these clothes on, and I was hot in these clothes, and they would stretch multiple sizes, and they were made from super synthetic materials that just didn't breathe. And they were tacky or flowerful or patterned. And I just felt like I was doing another catalog. It was like terrible. And I was expensing, like there's a lot of stuff. But then David said to me, you can go to Bogner. Bogner's got great stuff. And I said, David, you're always wearing Grayson. You look so good in Grayson. Like, who's the vendor? And that's when I started to do the due diligence on the brands out there for men, the brands out there for women. And I collected in a binder, photocopied, collected all the price points. And I started to realize as I was flipping through, like one of those books, that has motion that you flip through, that nothing communicated, nothing. And then I was in Portland at a Peak Performance, like one of these vendor shows for fabrics. And I started to get educated very quickly over the course of 2 days. What feels good, what doesn't feel good, what's coded a certain way, what's new for hiking, joggers, things. And I started to get a lot of information of where things came from, where Prada did their pants, and where it was very interesting how that all worked out. And I got a lot of information. And then from that, I started to say, okay, women only golf 9 holes. Generally, they're off to lunch. They're off like this. They don't really golf 18 holes, not really. But they're off to lunch. They're off to pick up their kids after school. They're off to meet their husbands somewhere. Lululemon established quite a phenomenon, right? And it was Canadian owned originally. Lululemon, its whole thing was about that, excuse the expression, triangle crotch that made every girl's butt lift up and look great. So that you can go all day, you could wear your Lululemon pants, bell bottoms, and it made everybody's body, even the mountain, look nice. So then from that, I started to realize I need to put on clothes. I'd shot a lot for different catalogs, a lot for different clients over the years. So I knew that my body type fit. So I started to design my body type. But I also, when I would go to Arizona here and there, I didn't want to pack stuff, like a lot of stuff. I wanted to take a few things, right? And that's it. So what I started to do was, okay, I've got to have like a sweater jacket. I've got to have like a rain jacket. I've got to have like a little moto jacket with a little polyfill in it. And I started to create what I thought was going to be 3 or 5 pieces, turned into 20 pieces. Even the first belt for women in golf, right? Wow. Even a bike short that I call my Superfly short that goes underneath. And then my little icon, that little blue teddy bear, is my dog Blue. It's my little Pomeranian Blue, right? So I just started to realize, I started pulling things out of my closet, and I said, why can't I have a pant that looks, there she is. Why can't I have a pant that looks, she's a cutie. Oh boy, she's bossy.
How old?
She's 12 now.
Wow. Look at those eyes. Wow.
My little brown-eyed girl. Anyway, I started to pull stuff that was in my closet and I started to mix and match things. And I was getting a lot of compliments from women. Wow, where'd you get that? That looks great. Wow, where did you get that? That looks great. And what I started to realize was if I could use these silhouettes and these lines and create these dresses like my Oscar de la Renta dress, right? And make these lines look beautiful like this and fit the same way. And I would bring them to the manufacturer and say, this is what I want. This is how I want it cut. This is how, and I would always strive to make it better, better. I mean, they hated me, right? I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right because it was my personal wealth I was putting into this, right?
Correct.
I didn't have time to mess around. So what Tim and Wayne did was they took this whole idea that I had and they said, you're not just golf or tennis or paddle or padel or whatever. You are a lifestyle brand. And that's when I thought, you know what? I would love, love, love to create that. But it's going to be done. We're doing it, we're doing it.
What's that like? You have the idea, you have the vision, you have the passion, and then you've got to make it come to fruition. You have designs, you have ideas, then you got to build a team, you got to build a village of supporters, investment, branding, all those things. What's that process been like for you?
The process has been not easy. This is not an easy endeavor. As difficult as I thought it was going to be, it's actually is more difficult than I thought. Every day is a complete high and low learning curve. I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am that Wayne is here because Wayne is such an incredible asset. I don't know where I would be without him, and that's the truth.
If you have him on your side, you've got him for life. He's really something. He's been very supportive of our show and of me.
Supportive.
And he's a great, great guy. He's got a really huge heart, doesn't he?
Gracious, very huge.
He really has a great
But also,
heart.
he also was, such an important person in fashion, such an important person in celebrities, had his own show, had his own lines and stuff. So he understands the back end of everything, things I don't, things that I'm learning towards. So when I'm scared and terrified, I have the voice of reason.
Right.
He tells me that's exactly where we should be. We're going woohoo. He's an incredible cheerleader. It's like, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's not an easy thing. He gives me such a huge sense of comfort and such a huge understanding of the business that every day we're moving more and more and more towards our goals. Exactly. I think if I was alone in all of this, like I felt for the last 3 years, it's one thing to create. It's another thing to push the little baby out of the, it's one thing to make an egg. It's another thing to like push the little birdie out of the nest and hope that it flies, but lack of a better metaphor, what an incredible wingman I have, incredible wingman I have. And, look, I mean, it's also working with him and doing stories in Purist magazine where they called me the first lady of golf and going with that, or working and doing these beautiful ads in Hamptons magazine, Lux Lifestyle down in Palm Beach.
Yes.
It's always right now. It's I'm inventing things for women in golf. That's what I want to do. I want to invent things. Yeah. There you have it.
That's it. This is a great shot.
Thanks. Thank you. Golfing is sexy. I want to bring the sexy into golf. I want women to feel good, and women of all ages. I would often see moms and things like my line is for everyone. I'm creating something for everyone, and something monochromatic. I think monochromatic is beautiful and elegant on women. I want to create a style where women can throw a blazer. Ooh, on that. We can put a blazer on me. We can put a blazer on me right now. We can put things on, you know what I mean? That go into from day to night. I did thigh highs for women in golf.
Did you really?
That? Oh yeah. Because women don't like to wear skirts. They'll wear shorts, but they don't want to wear skirts. So what I did was, wait, hold a second. If I do an SPF black thigh high on a woman, she can wear it when it's cold outside or the sun or whatever comes out. She can wear it down, or she can wear it like keep it on up, but it's sexy. I mean, I've worn that and people are like, wow, I don't get in trouble because it's pure regulation, but it's kind of like, it's interesting. I want to invent things. I want to invent the first cat suit for women, like a golf trainer.
Yes.
You know, that's so James Bond, like beautiful and beautiful quality that you can throw a blazer over, a sweater over, a high boot or a little kitten heel, and you're great. You know, you're out the door, right?
So you felt something was missing, something was not
Not
there,
missing, didn't even exist even
didn't
remotely
even
close to it.
exist. Yeah. So completely,
I've
yeah.
had very, very important people that are super successful in golf now, very interested in what I'm doing. I think nobody, one of the heads of Zara said to me, I didn't know you had this in you. And I said, nor did I. You know, it's kind of like, why not? Right?
Exactly. And this is the lookbook, right? These are coming from the lookbook. Tell us about that for people who aren't familiar with that.
Sketches. So lookbooks can be sketches like this. So this is like an idea for how you transition your golf wear into everyday wear and make it hip. So these are beautiful illustrations that are showing it's a vibe, you know, it's a total vibe, how you can wear your Devon Halsey, you
Do
know.
you do these? Are these your sketches?
No, I wish. No.
You bring people in.
Wayne,
Yeah.
who made the sketches for
My
us?
name Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo Barrett.
Ronaldo Barrick made these sketches.
Fabulous. You know who also, and I think he's watching as well, familiar, mutual friend, Mark Cornwall Wyckoff. You know Mark, right?
Mark, our makeup artist, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he did our
Yeah.
makeup.
He's
I'm
great,
Mark.
isn't he? Yeah.
Are you kidding me? We've all never looked better. Car looks amazing. Juwan looks amazing. Yeah. I love my hair.
Absolutely.
I love my makeup. Yeah.
These are really great shots.
And the hairdresser was Selena.
Serena. Rodelli.
What's her last name?
Serena Rodelli.
Sorry, it's not that. Serena Rodelli. Her Britz's hair lady. We did all of her Britz's, like all the supermodels and stuff. So yeah, we've got a lot of video and content coming up, right?
We actually have we've got a video here we're going to show. Let's pull that up. That's a good segue.
Here, join me.
Quick little video here that we're going to throw in. And this is really cool.
You see how great Wayne is? He just shows you like content. This was 2 days in Smashbox. This is like what most people would achieve probably in a week in Smashbox. We hustled, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say so. And nailed it too. Here we go. Take a look, gang. Is that out in Sag Harbor, Long Island? Is that Sag Harbor?
Yeah, Peconic Bay.
Yeah.
Probably going out to get some gas. Yes, such a glamorous life.
But I tell you,
Hmm?
yeah, that's fantastic. You know
You know what? If you
There you
told me
go.
I was going to do this 5 years ago, I would say what I would be like, what? It's not happening.
But I would imagine, like, because you have the experience, you know, as a model, and you've been on so many photo shoots and in studios, are you overseeing the shoots that happen with the models you bring in to model the wardrobe?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm part.
I can
I'm
see that.
Yeah. I'm.
You have the background.
But I also know whoever I onboard, I let them do them. I am not someone that's going to like sit there and art direct you. I'm not going to tell Timothy how to shoot. I'm not going to tell Wayne how to style. I'm not going to tell Mark how to do makeup. I really trust that when people work together as a team, the best thing to do is leave them alone. Because I've quite often experienced as a model, when a client gets involved in any of that, when she brings masterminds together and they get involved,
Yeah.
it takes away something of the magic. You know, look at that. Look at that. And this was before Barbie.
This is before the Barbie craze, right?
Before Barbie. And then when that came out in Hampton's magazine, I specifically requested that come out right after Barbie come out, because I knew everyone would actually see it, really see it. That was like right on the inside of Hampton's magazine, double page, you know?
Cool look, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great look. So the skirt's mine and the jacket's mine, but the t-shirt, the hat, the boots, and the little Bottega bag. I mean, just shows you what you can do with this. That's a beautiful knit skirt. Beautifully knit. That's great for tennis. That's great just to wear every day. It's super cute.
That's
From
so
day to
cool.
night and everywhere else. And then there she is, Cara, jumping. Yeah. That's Timothy's creation, correct? All on a trampoline, all shot in the air. Cara was fearless. That girl, both of them, all day long. Jump, 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 jump. And I thought to myself, wow, I mean, I've worked hard in my day, but these girls are working really hard for 48 hours. It was crazy.
Yes, right.
And you could see it. They were all having fun. We were having fun.
They're all having fun.
All
Exactly.
having fun. It was like a shoot from the old days where it was just high fashion, great people, great team.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. There's Cara Young.
There she is. That's right. Yeah. She's terrific too, isn't she?
We love her. Super mom. Big time. It's a pleasure to see her wear my clothes. And there's Blue.
Look at that shot. Hey.
Me and my Chanel surfboard in my office. Right. Cara and Blue.
That's a cutie.
Yeah,
right,
she's a good girl. Yeah, I don't know about that girl. Right?
Cool shot. Yeah.
Thanks. It's me with my first Devon Halsey hat. That came out like a year into.
That logo is really cool too.
What's that?
The design for the
Yeah,
logo.
the golf tee bent like a D. Yeah, it was really, it's kind of like, Devon Halsey is this kind of image that I made for myself so that I could have, it's almost like a, lack of a better word, like a James Bond image of myself.
It's got that feeling, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I always say there's a little Devon in every girl. She's got she can do anything she wants. I mean, in this day and age, really, for women can really do anything, if they put their minds to it. I think, that's beautiful. All Timothy White. And what's really beautiful also is you don't really see lookbooks that are white on white.
No, not really.
Something super crisp, super more about the feeling, about just a moment captured.
Is there an age range or demographic, or is it for anybody? How would you?
The first jacket I sold was a green moto jacket. I sold it to a 72-year-old female headhunter and a 27-year-old girl, a ceramist, an artist, and a headhunter. There is no age demographic. I mean, for me, it's kind of like age is just a number.
It is.
I know a lot of fashion goes on that, but because I started my core collection a little bit conservative, from this moment on, it's whatever you want. It's for everyone. I don't want to ever get into that whole thing, especially now. I can't tell half of these girls and their moms. I can't tell who's the mother and who's the daughter anymore.
Right now, it's changed.
Crazy how beautiful. No, but it's crazy a little bit, right? So it's kind of. I don't think it's. I don't want to limit myself in that. There's a little bit of I've got enough in my collection that people can wear and work together and place together.
So how close is everything to coming to, fruition with it?
We are selling on Shopify right now. We're selling. Yep. You can go to Instagram, Shopify. It'll click you. We already have people buying. People are getting their product as soon as possible. I've done multiple trunk shows. I've got a trunk show coming up on October 18th at Wingfoot. I'm at Sabonic in the Hamptons.
Cool.
I am doing private shows. I've been selling. That's an oldie. I'm selling private. Yeah. I'm selling privately, like literally outside my home in my showrooms. And I am, I'm constantly doing shows. I've got meetings coming up, big meetings. And then what else are we doing? So it's Instagram. It's Instagram at Devon Halsey Official. And Facebook is Devon Halsey, right?
Yeah.
So if you want, and then you'll reach Shopify stores, and then my website's going to come up in a couple of weeks. what we're doing is we're constantly shooting. We're starting to do a whole thing about shooting. Timothy's going to be on board it again.
Getting the content built up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got to build up a lot more content, different, a little diversity, a little bit. I had an idea today when I was driving back from the Hamptons. There's a hitting range, a little hitting range, and I saw this, and I thought, Wayne, I have to tell you about this. It's very cute. I saw an older lady practicing, and she was the only. There's Wayne. Where's Wayne? There he is. She was practicing her golf swing, and I thought to myself,
Wayne's
"Damn,
World, Wayne's World, Wayne's World.
I wish I had a jacket because I would have jumped out of the car, would have thrown the jacket on her. I would have taken a couple pictures with my phone, and I would have, like, you know, you posted them.
You would have given her the jacket because you're so kind like that. And that would be perfect.
You know, I like to make people happy. Right.
Absolutely right. That's a great shot too. These are all. This one's beautiful. We use that for our promo. That's just a great look.
Thank you.
And this too.
Oh, thanks.
It's got a very sophisticated sort of European feel to it. Really nice.
Thanks. That was when I lived, in the West Village. I know Chelsea. I think Chelsea when I was with Ford. Yeah. Look, I've had I was extremely fortunate to be in the right place at the right time.
Yes.
Extremely fortunate to, have agents and people that really believed in me and gave me opportunities to immigrate into America to do.
Do you know what I see when I see this photo?
What?
A little bit.
What?
Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, I used to get that a lot when I was a kid.
I would imagine that. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, which is not too shabby to be compared with. That's for sure.
We love us some Audrey. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Now, tell us about this. This is like a color palette type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what was important for me was I didn't know. Well, I'm kind of a black, white, gray person myself. I don't really wear colors, but I started in 2020 when I was doing my due diligence. I love like lavender and I love periwinkle and I love blue tones, right? And I started to realize that a lot of like Valentino was doing, beautiful purples, and Bottega Veneta was doing beautiful greens and burgundies and teals, Laura Piana, gray, Brunello Cucinelli, gray, blue named after my dog Blue. So what I tried to do was create a palette, almost like a makeup palette, right? Of colors that could work together, that could work monochromatically, that could work with, luxury brand colors of the moment or up and coming. I did a lot of research. My main thing on Sunday mornings is to have like the Sunday morning news shows on and to be going to e-commerce websites, because that's when they always pop up, when you get the discounts or the percentages off, or Bergdorf, Neiman Marcus, all the luxury brands. And when you scroll through them, your brain starts to, I'm very visual. So my brain gets into like, okay, that color's coming, that color's not going away. That color they're reinventing, that color they're going up a Pantone, down a Pantone, depending on, just the season and stuff. So what I did, and even my pink is on point with Chanel. That's a Chanel pink right there. So I knew that these were successful colors. So I thought, if I do the 100% fashion, which is this, right? And then the technical and the shapes of the clothing, and then the technical aspect of using fabrics and trimming and stuff like that. If I can morph those three things together, I'm going to win. I'm going to set myself off apart from the rest, and I'm going to really create something for women that they're going to want to wear. Also, strangely enough, timing is everything. Golf is on trend to be the gear that you wear as a status.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's
become that. Golf is like, it does, it's not about the polo Lacoste anymore. It's about golf.
Yeah.
Who's golfing? And it really separates society. Although there are tons of public courses, even the people that don't have these multi-million-dollar memberships in places actually have to dress protocol to go play golf, right?
Exactly. Right. Like people did years ago at church and holidays and weddings and funerals now.
Right. Which I still do, you know? I mean,
we do too. Yeah.
Yeah, I still do. I think that's those traditions speak to me. and I like keeping them. And that's I wanted to keep. I wanted Devon Halsey to be traditional. I wanted her to be this, to establish herself, and then to grow wings from that. And that's what Wayne and I are going to do with the help of Timothy and Mark and people that we're bringing on all the time to work with us, whether we're in New York or Los Angeles, right?
So what's your favorite color?
White, the absence of color. It always has been. True. I love white.
I like the way she said that. White, the absence of
It's
color.
my favorite.
It
It's
always has been.
Color. Yeah. I've always loved white. White's it's just clean. It's just crisp,
Yeah. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Wayne is over there. Does Wayne want to pop on and tell us about his, there he is. He was over in the green room, right? He was on that couch in the green room.
I was just listening. Dara knows how to talk about her brand better than anybody. So I just listened. But,
that means you believe in it.
Having been the face of Oil of Olay, having been the voice of Pantene, Clairol, and coming from, hi ladies, hi Merlin, hi everybody, hi Loveities. But
we got guys and gals, everybody watching today.
I was reading all the comments back there. The best thing about Dara in this line is she understands real women and she doesn't separate herself. So as you watch and it seems so fabulous, she makes sure that she tells you how hard she worked, how hard it is, how everybody has to go through all those steps to get
what
here.
It takes, right?
Happen naturally, guys. And I came on with Dara because of our best friend Timothy, but the connection of the three of us is kind of spreading kind of love out into the world to everybody. And when Dara chose the colors, she actually chose them for every skin tone also. It wasn't just fashion color. It was like, this is good on black skin. This is good on Asian skin. This is good. Yeah. Because everybody should feel inclusive. This should be an inclusive fashion line that you can go from active with your kids to dinner with your husband and not spend double the price to get the best looks.
Yeah.
What's it like working together? You seem to be a great team with all of this. From your perspective, Wayne.
What do you think? In the beginning, we're both opinionated, but I came in as a stylist. Timothy brought me in as a stylist. And as a stylist, I have a strong personality, strong attitude, because my job is to not fail. So I come to work, I do what I think is best. And I don't fail, but I don't want to use somebody else's money. So the first day I was thinking, who is this one telling me what to do? Who does she think she is? Because I've worked with big designers, Versace, everybody. And if Versace tells me, Wayne, don't do that, I answer him back too. So what am I going to do when I meet Dara, who's a new designer? But you know what? In our relationship, I would say this, it became, I started to respect her vision and her taste and her honesty and her heart. And if you can respect those four things, you can do great business with anyone.
Correct. Right.
Doesn't matter what we design, it's the person inside, right?
Right.
Don't cry.
I think
Dara, do you see Wayne as this source of inspiration and as like a mentor, because he's been in this world for so long and so dedicated to fashion and that whole world? Do you see him in a
I told him he was mentoring me before I ever met him.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, he was mentoring me before I ever met him, because I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've driven in a Mustang I would rent down in LA for, while I was trying to build an acting career, listening to Tina Turner, and listening and visualizing, like just these songs that were always like, Wayne was always in my stratosphere. That nanotechnology of energy was always there. There are no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Correct.
Every failure, success, all comes to like something, so like don't resist. And
people we meet supposed
I
to
met
happen.
Wayne, and that was that. It just kind of like there's this innate sense of calm when that happens, because I'm quite aware, and it's he calms me down.
Yeah.
Which isn't easy to do, right? Because I'm very like A-type personality, and I've got a kind of, and also very private in a lot of ways. Very private and very
perfectionistic.
Well, yeah, but over COVID, even more so, it amplified for me, because I was basically locked up
Mhm.
cooking every day, getting to know somebody, you know, and really quieting down voices in my head to go, okay, what do I want in my life? And I truly felt like if I could build a team around me, like I thought about that every single day. And when Wayne appeared, it was like, all right, well, there you have it. It's done. Like, check that box. You know, it just kind of feels like that. Like, I didn't question it for one bit.
And
It's like,
And for you, Wayne, how does it feel for you?
well,
it's like
neither
therapy.
what
It's like therapy.
like therapy. Neither one are going to let the other fail. So if Dara's busy, I take the load. If I'm busy, she takes the load. And then back and forth, the ideas, we keep pushing each other higher. I'm not going to tell her a stupid idea just to get away with it and go off. She's checking me every moment, because if we are on top of this game, clearly what we're going to hand off to the consumer, all you people that are listening, we're going to give you magic. See, it's a dream team, they said.
And you
we're
know,
going to give you magic, and we believe in the collection. It's
and
amazing.
this is the kind of magic, like I'll give you, for instance, like Wayne brings. For example, this afternoon, he comes with a big bag of stuff. I gave him a few of my pieces, and he said, here, let me take it to a manufacturer, and I will manufacture these items for you. I will replicate them for you. I went through a year and a half of doing fittings almost every single week, trying to get my message across to the people that I was working with, because I kept perfecting. And a lot of my personal wealth was lost, for example, trying to better and get my message across that wasn't getting across. This one, I give him these pieces. He goes in how many weeks? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. He comes back. He comes in here before we had this interview, and he goes, try this on, try it. In one fitting, I said to Wayne, where were you like 2 years ago? Where would we be today? You know, like if you would start, but it doesn't matter, because lessons need to be learned. We're here.
Good.
It's good, right? And now also I know the difference. I don't think I would know the difference before.
And but that's good to know for women in business. Everybody that tries to start their businesses themselves, you fund these businesses, and people will take your money until you find the right team. Yeah. Be very smart and put the pieces together. And thank you, Jeffrey Group, for making great samples.
Yeah. It's that, you know.
We're surrounded. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We're surrounding ourselves with good people. And Madonna once told me, surround yourself with great people and coast. It was the best advice, because as long as there's great people around you, and ladies out there, this includes your family, your kids, your husband, how you treat each other. You just surround yourself with great people, and you can coast through this life.
Absolutely right. You know, Wayne, you look really good. You look happy. You look, because you've been through a lot of different things of late within their family and all things that have gone on. But you look like you're in a really sweet spot. You've got you've got a glow. You just look content, and this challenge that is being presented with Dara, that is coming in and sort of melding your two worlds together. You seem really excited and like re-energized, and it's showing. Am I accurate with that?
Well, that's good. Somebody else said that recently. Someone said it to me in a restaurant, and I'm thinking that we're succeeding every day, you know? And when you start to succeed every day, and I always say this without being religious, but, you know, God is my source. I have great faith that we're supposed to be together, that things are put in place for reasons. And when you start to do those things and you start live a faith-based life, faith in friends, faith in your business, faith that this power comes from somewhere else, I really feel that that's the light. Because then it comes out. Because if you can trust that the miracles already happened, you can't fail. Does that make sense?
Yes, right. And believing in yourself.
And I told you this the last show. Everybody out there that's struggling and in terrible, the miracles already happened. Pray and thank God for the miracle coming, because you'll get through it. We get through everything. It's how you praise in the pits of your life that are going to show you how to get to the next level of your life with more ease.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Praise in the pits.
We call it lovity around here at the Gym Master.
Lovity.
Lovity in the pits.
Lovity.
That's it. I tell you. So what are some other exciting things coming up, launches, future plans that you see?
tell what you want. I'm going to listen. I'll stop you if I don't want you to tell.
He'll do some on the scene editing.
Wait, on the scene editing.
Well, no, there's huge stuff coming. She has huge things in place. It happened in only a few weeks. It started with It started with Dara designing. She has a great assistant in LA. Can I talk about your assistant, Megan? Megan was very supportive and got her here. You know, back in behind the scenes, trudging along, not really knowing how to do this, and we're here. So now this is going to expand huge, and there's so many people in place. We just met a great old friend of mine. I won't say her name, and then another old friend of mine, who I will say, Janet, who's a great manufacturer. Yeah. And everybody from all the years of learning, all the years in your life, and Dara said this, you find the best people. And then at some point in your life, you put all the best people together and you change your life.
Yeah.
They say you kiss a lot of frogs before you find a prince. It's the same with friends. We learn, we move on, we fail, we succeed. But right now, I think all the pieces are coming together. I know all the pieces are coming together. So there's a lot of store stuff happening. We're speaking to somebody about an equestrian line to start bringing this to equestrians. And the whole point is, if it's an equestrian line, if it's a golf line, if it's a tennis line, it's a lifestyle brand. Yeah. Dara has created, I'm excited and I'm glowing because Dara has created the new lifestyle brand that every woman out there, no matter what your size, can wear. It fits everybody. It covers any bumps and bulges. It makes you feel good about your body. And you know what? Machine wash and dryable. Throw it in the wash, dry it, go back out, go play a sport, play with your kids in the dirt. Get up, change the shirt, put on a different skirt, and go to lunch, and you look amazing. And it's activewear.
Activewear that stands the test of time too. What's important for me is when you do make an investment into Devon Halsey, whether it's small or big, that you have that product that stands the test of time.
Quality materials and only
the best.
Because Dara said yesterday, she goes, Wayne, all this active. Listen, ladies out there, other than like a Lululemon, like you said before, which is expensive. All these pieces that are created for ladies' activewear are throwaway. You wear it, it tears, it stretches, it rips, they throw it in the garbage. What Dara created was consistent, forever pieces that will work into your existing wardrobe forever. The pants that she made 4 years ago don't wrinkle, they still have a crease, they still look clean, you can put them on to fly.
Yeah.
You know, I had a collection years ago. My collection still can be thrown on. It never faded. It never washed out. And we're still here. So quality products, without being a commercial, quality products priced well, that care about women's bodies, that care about how women live their lives. And we want to send out love with it.
Is there any thought down the line at all to have anything for the guys too?
Ooh, I get asked that all the time.
I could see that. Yeah.
No. You know why? Because the guys have everything. There's so much.
They already have so much, right? In the golf world,
doing a great thing. Wagner's doing a great thing. They have so much stuff, guys. It's like,
oversaturated. Yeah,
it's oversaturated. If anything, I would do like a younger girls line. You know what I mean? Because I think also there's so many kids coming up playing golf, playing tennis. They're doing that. It's starting at the age of 5 where they're doing that. So it's kind of like it's coming up. So what's always cute is moms and their daughters, you know, regardless of age, like to dress the same, switch out, whatever. That's something I would consider doing and something I would make more for everyone.
And with the Williams sisters and who just won the US Open?
Coco?
Little girls have heroes again.
Yeah.
Little girls have heroes again. And heroes that can wear form-fitting athletic wear that's not overtly sexy, that is athletic, that shows their strong bodies. It's a whole shift Dara's doing with how women see their bodies. And little girls have heroes again.
Yeah, it's true.
That's so cool. You know,
this jacket, Jim, that jacket is a 4-way convertible jacket. It's a vest, it's a hooded bolero, it's a crossbody bag, and it's this jacket. It does 4 things. It's the best piece.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Water repellent, it's warm. It's got fleece lining inside. That's my Superfly short. You can see blue and where I put my golf tees. Men love it when I pull out the golf tee from either the side of my jogger or underneath in my Superfly short. It's like, what is that? I said, it's like bullets. You just pull them out. They love it. They go crazy. Why don't we have that? As always, I was like, I don't know.
This
Right.
moto jacket.
That's my
this
motorcycle
lightweight moto jacket was based on one of Dara's motorcycle jackets, and I'm telling you, Joanne, who could have worn it better than Joanne flying through the air?
So pretty.
I mean, Timothy had, like Dara said before, trampolines, fans on the set, and these girls just worked overtime because we want you to see that if we're making an activewear collection, it's active. Hello.
My
This was
motorcycle
based on
helmets,
you.
yeah.
What does it say?
So my motorcycle. So my whole Devon Halsey is so the jewelry, the handbags, the belts and things, the leather jackets, those are all mine. So you can see my thigh highs. See my Devon Halsey thigh highs in those?
Yeah.
In the shots. So all of it is kind of like, ooh, there's a little essence of Dara in this. You know? It's kind of like a little Halford Hitchcocky.
Yeah.
It's like where I'm in every picture a little
I
bit.
went in Dara's closet, Jim, and I pulled out all those pieces. And the dress is Devon Halsey, and the shirt is Devon Halsey, and the leg warmers, and then everything else is Dara's. So when she says, I wear the collection, that's how she wears it to lunch or to get on the motorcycle, to go to the golf course, to go out. This piece exploded at the Hampton Classic. This was the most popular ad at the Hampton Classic.
Wow.
And that's how we're crossing.
My jogger pants and my driver in that green Bottega green kind of color. Very pretty. And that color combining green and black, I had a client come over. Wayne was dressing her. Jane came over. Won't give last names. And Jane was smitten with Wayne, and Wayne styled her. Wayne took 10 years off. Wayne's talent is literally, it's like the fountain of youth. He dresses you, and all of a sudden you can come hip. He took a sweater she was wearing. He flipped it around. It had a handkerchief. It needed it.
Sorry, Jane.
He flipped it around. It was like knit on one side. It was silk, like a silk scarf on the other. He flipped it around. He dressed her with she looked 10 years younger. I was like, oh my God.
How do you wear a sweater with color on the back? We just turned it around, I think it was like a Chico. No, she doesn't shop in Chico's probably.
Stop. I shot Chico's all the time.
It looked like a Chico sweater, but she needed the key with Darami is she needed the color in the front. She needed the fit to be driven. She needed the lower neckline. And as a stylist of 39 years, those are the things I can bring to Dara. And then Dara can put those things into the clothes.
But what was so funny is watching Jane transform Timothy. Look, a chain just transformed.
Yeah, she did. That day was beautiful, Jane. That was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
I mean, and then Jim, she bought the stuff. She went out and we dressed a mannequin at the club and we called it the Jane Mannequin because she inspired us. So every lady out there, if you do buy the Devon Halsey or when you buy it from Shopify,
take a picture.
Please hashtag Devon Halsey so we can see it and we'll post it because we are inspired by your personal style. And this collection was designed by Dara to become your personal pieces in your personal closet. So how she wears the jacket is going to be different than how my mom wears it and how your niece Mila wears it.
Right.
Everybody will wear the jacket different, but they're made to be it's an all-inclusive collection. Non-binary?
As opposed to you have to conform to and fit into that style, that look.
With this collection,
you can adapt it to you. That's cool.
You wear the clothes don't wear you.
Yeah. Correct.
Like this yellow jacket wears me.
I was going to say, I could see it from an airplane.
I wasn't going to be on the TV today.
No, I always heard that yellow jackets sting. And they sting. They don't sting once. They sting multiple times.
Multiple times. Are you flirting with the George Burns mannequin yet? Oh my gosh!
What a segue! You go from you stinging to a George Burns mannequin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dara doesn't know he's coming yet, so God bless.
What?
But I'm going to step away. You guys finish up.
Right, we're good. No.
Are we done?
No, you're staying.
I'm staying.
He's the entertaining force.
She's taking charge. Was that Dara speaking or was that Devon? Or did she should go back and forth?
Ooh. Devon, maybe.
No, but
maybe Dara.
You're two people.
I am two people.
She can be Devon and Dara, but she likes to stay private. So it's great that she's doing this because Devon Halsey needs you to meet Dara because there's truth there. And I say to people all the time, Dara can sell because she doesn't sell, she tells the truth.
Right.
So when she speaks about her clothes, she speaks the truth to her collection. And
the inspiration behind. Yeah. So when people see that name and they see that label and they see that product, tonight on this episode of our show, they're seeing the people and the creator and the
Right. So
yeah,
I think,
which is terrific.
That
They'll
was-
Well, I
appreciate
want-
it
I
more
want
when they
Devon
hear the
to
story
see-
like this, Dara. They'll appreciate hearing the story and how it all came together and the ups and the downs and the fabulous acting and modeling career, and then deciding, want to pull away from that right now. And I want to do things that inspire me, that also make other people feel good and happy and content in their lives. They might not walk red carpets. They might not ever be on stages, but they are on their own stage daily, and you're doing things to sort of make them feel real good and stylish and fashionable and appreciated. And that's a fantastic thing. So now, because of the opportunity to have the conversation, when people see that name, they're going to appreciate and Wayne's involvement too. They're going to understand what it's all what it takes to put these things together, that most people would see the name. Oh, that must have just been, she was probably left a trust fund and then just all came together. Her grandfather handed her the company. Here you're building this from the ground floor, and it's something that has been yearning and burning inside you, and you're making it happen. Yeah. That's very inspiring.
And Jim, I'm sorry.
Well, the message is, you don't need money. You can make anything happen for yourself.
So I was going to say,
you can really make anything happen for yourself. For me, it's really important that a woman be seen, not only heard, but seen, and seen the way she wants to be seen. And that's why I'll never forget this moment. I was again in Barbados. This was last year. I dressed a friend of mine, Tatiana Usova, supermodel, Russian supermodel. And I gave her an outfit, a blue outfit of just my skirt in blue and a blue polo. And she went out to go hit on the range. And then I was a little late, and I was racing with the golf cart, And I turned a corner. I was like, damn, who's that girl out there? And as I got closer, I realized it was Tatiana. And I was like, whoa, I could see her from half a mile away.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. I was like, oh my God. And I had this aha moment where I went, oof, who cares if she can play or not?
Yeah.
I was like, she looks good. And I'll never forget that. I remember ski instructor in high school. I went to Melbourne High. He said to me, oh, Dara, it doesn't matter if you're a good skier. You look good. I was like, oh, okay. All right. I'll just fake it till I make it kind of thing. All right. But it is Devon Halsey, for someone like me that is private. A lot of people, I've often heard that I'm intimidating sometimes or not so approachable. But when people actually get to know me, they meet the goofball. They don't realize I'm as goofy as I am. So for me, Devon Halsey is the strength of a woman. It's like the unapologetic strength of a woman. It's empowering for a woman. It's intelligent. She wants to be seen. She doesn't mind being seen, and she's honoring her body. Whatever your body type, believe me, Devon Halsey, I've made stuff for you to wear. It's it's good, and you'll feel good.
And if Dara can do this and struggle and get here, anybody out there can follow their dreams and create something magic.
That's
you
right.
Find the right people, you put them all together, you make a team. She's done it. She did it off her back with hard work. It wasn't easy work. And you know what? When she designs a pair of pants, 7 fittings to make sure that it looks great on you. When not to be shady, but when someone like Ralph or Tori or another brand does it, it's a team of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Dara's doing it in her studio, atelier, all along with the pins herself, trying to get you the perfect, unique pieces. So
we're driving back and forth, every 10 days, back and forth, or zooming on the thing, zooming. Takes a lot. It's a lot. It's more than people think, especially when you're the only person kind of doing it, And then I had to find a model who was my body type, my height, my body type, so that I couldn't be in 2 places at once. I could have somebody, stand in for me, So it was just, and all of it costs money, and it takes time, so it's
but don't give up.
But I don't give up.
Give up. Right.
Don't give up out there.
This is what my father taught me, right? It's survival instinct. It just goes
all
on.
Full circle to what we were talking about at the beginning.
The comeback kid.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of like I've always been the underdog. I've never wanted to be, the number one, but I've always kind of strived to be up there
And the
for
key is,
myself.
Right.
don't quit before the
Miracle
miracle.
happens.
That's right.
Everybody quits before the miracle.
Just before it,
And
right.
right before the miracle is when it's the most painful.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So just
Right.
kind of, ladies out there, men out there, trudge along. Believe in yourself and don't quit. Because if you had a dream, the dream is still there. Don't let the world get in the way.
Yeah. And the world is very easy. There's a lot of negative narrative.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people
Don't
that want to
speak it
put
to
you
yourself.
down, you know,
Absolutely
but it's like
right.
you can't tap into that because it's not your truth.
Yep.
It's very interesting how I've realized now, being on this side of it, a different level of competitiveness,
Mhm.
much different than I experienced as a model or as an actor.
Yeah.
It is ruthless, the
It's
level of
tougher, you
competitiveness.
mean? It's like,
Yeah, it's tougher. This is tougher.
if they could
because-
take you down, they would.
Oh, it's meaner. It's meaner. It's grittier. It's a little doggy dog.
Yeah, it's Mean
you know,
Girls.
it's a
It's
little,
Mean Girls.
it's Mean Girls.
Yeah.
But if we stay in our bubble together,
Right.
Yeah.
and we have people around us that we care about, you can kind of push off the Mean Girls and just keep trudging forward.
Just
with
keep
your
doing
vision.
your thing the way you want to do
That
it.
stuff, Mean Girls stuff, everybody out there, Mean Girls stuff is just stuff.
That burns out. That's
There's
superficial.
not much
It's
fact
just
behind it. It's just Mean Girls.
Yeah.
right.
Men process that different than women do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter what you think it is, it's never as bad. You know, and I had this conversation with my girlfriend, Sasha Alexander, right? She's an actor. She's a director. She's a producer.
Oh yeah, we
Well-
have mutual friends. Sasha, Dina, Fanai, and Bob Kinkle. We're all friends. Yeah,
Yeah. So
Sasha's fantastic.
Sasha's amazing. So Sasha was shot also by Timothy White that day.
You'll see them soon. those
They're
pictures.
coming out soon.
Devon Halsey.
I gotta say, she's a huge inspiration for me. She's a great lady. She's a great mom. She's for someone who survived Hollywood. She's a great actor. She's a great director. Just really a source of inspiration for me. And she's always said to me, you know, yeah, people are going to mean to you. Yeah, you know, you're not from LA. You're not from like whatever, being an actor. You know, she was just a solid person I could talk to. There are very few people, they think, you know, people often think that things come easy to me because I'm quite stoic. It's just the way I was raised, to kind of not wear my emotions on my sleeves all the time. And except my friends that are in my inner circles that I can really just spew and vomit like, and they're like, you know, they get exhausted from me. But the people on that outer circle, they don't really know what's going on. So they always assume that everything's fine, that it's great. They don't understand.
She's got everything together, right?
Yeah, they don't understand. I think a lot of women I've had women tell me that other women absolutely hate me. Which is an interesting thing. And I always say, why? They don't know me.
Mean Girls.
And they said, well, because, you know, you're self-made and you seem to have it together. And I'm like, I'm so faulted. I'm faulted. I am like not perfect. There are days when I don't even feel like getting out of bed, but I just think it's okay. This too shall pass. Like, it's just life. It's just life. You know,
it's kind of strange. I find it always strange that sometimes the only way you get the love and support from people is when they just see the blemishes, the warts, they see the faults and everything else, and they don't lift you up when you're working hard and doing well, and maybe you have been successful. It's always got to be, oh, well, she bleeds too. And, you know, it's a crazy psychological
I've
experiment.
lost 2 35-year friendships because of that.
Yeah, right.
They were always friends that are there for you when you're in crisis, friends that are there for you when you're brokenhearted. The moment the tables turn and you're in a great place and life is good and you're moving forward, it's like they're just not. And what's terrible is you reach a certain age as a woman where you can actually, as friends, because as friends you should be able to say when you suck and when you don't suck, where they've said, I'm jealous of you. And that gets to the point. I said, jealous of all the tears and all the pain that I've gone through and everything I've had to live through in my life. I mean, granted, it could always be worse, but it's like all that stuff, that doesn't make sense to me. And then you realize it's not you, it's them. They got to work on themselves. And you just need time out. You give your friends a time out, right? You give them a timeout. You say, listen, we're going to time out for a little bit, and you figure out, good luck, love you. You know, that's, I feel it works for me to do it like that. But you know, you can't take everyone with you either. I mean, I'm still best friends with my best friend from high school, from grade 9 when I was 14, you know, I'm still like best friends with a lot of people. I have a lot of great, and my friends are very happy for me across the board, not just business, but that I have eventually did find someone in my life that's awesome. Eventually, you know, like just stuff, you know, that I'm healthy, that I'm not sick anymore, that it's like, you know, stuff, you know, it's kind of, I've been through a lot. So it's all good. It's all fine. It doesn't mean I don't love them or think about them or, you know,
you can't
cherish my time.
You can't take everybody with you,
Can't
but
take everyone
everybody's
with you.
not supposed to go with you all the way.
You are, though.
Maybe.
So you met 2 people in your life that are special.
Tim and Wayne and David.
Yeah.
The fiance.
Yes.
His fiance.
Good
We
feeling.
love David. So you guys, I think, you know, there's a line coming out that is stupendous. You've already met Dara Tomanovich, who she is. Now you'll meet Devon Halsey. And look at Cecilia loves Sasha. We're getting little messages on the screen. I love that.
Oh, I love that too.
So they have
Lovelies, new and old. Yes.
They have to follow Dara at Instagram, Devon Halsey Official, and on Facebook at Devon Halsey.
Support me.
And then
Yes.
I think in 2 weeks, devonhalsey.com, we'll have video content. We'll have maybe Jim on as a guest. We'll have a lot of people come on, and we'll do a weekly video, and you'll see Timothy White's photos.
Yep.
And you'll see Joanna and our favorite models, Cara.
And if you didn't see the episode with Timothy White, everybody, he was a guest, and it was an extraordinary conversation. Yeah, he was great, showing us all of his work.
Oh my God.
Very talented.
Iconic.
He started me with celebrities. Did you know that?
I didn't know how that it worked that way. No.
Timothy started me with celebrities. I went into the studio. He said, "Do you want to work with me?" And I was scared to death. And I said yes. And then it was Katie Couric, Diane Sawyer, Susan Sarandon, one after the other. And that's where I learned, in Timothy's studio.
Isn't that crazy?
And so Timothy started me. Him and Dara are friends. Timothy introduced me to Dara. So this really is.
And this was the first time that I've known Timothy for a couple decades that he ever shot me.
See, this is 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon
First,
with Timothy White.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Timothy White. Yeah. He's
Thanks,
the first time he
Tim.
ever shot me.
Yeah, so good people all around, Jim.
That's right. Absolutely. It really is. And you got to hang on to them and nurture those relationships and grow together and celebrate together. And it seems like you guys certainly are. And this was an amazing 1 hour and 32 minutes. It was like a New York minute. Yeah. An hour and a half. The episodes of our show, it always feels like it's just because I don't call them interviews. I call them I don't call them interviews. I call them conversations. These are conversations. And it's a lot different. You know, it's more back and forth and interjecting and just celebrating. And it's really, really cool. And this was fantastic. Really, congratulations on everything. And I'm so glad that now we are now in this circle as well. And you are absolutely welcome back to our show anytime. As I always say, we'll keep the porch light on for you and keep me abreast of some of the cool things that are happening and things that are developing further. And hopefully, see you guys in the city when you have different launch parties and different things that are happening. That would be cool. I would love to, get in on that with you guys and spread the word about our show. It takes a village. And I hope you enjoyed the time as much as I have with you.
Very much. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Wayne.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. And I hope the show was.
Wait. Where's George Burns?
I was going to say, I loved having you guys here, and it's good catching up with Wayne as well. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had.
I have no expectations.
Good. That's my favorite answer when guests
I
say
don't
that.
have expectations. It doesn't work for us ladies to have expectations.
Right. George Burns is sound asleep right now. He's resting, Wayne. It's an actual George Burns television.
Next time we'll have Blue on the show.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
She interacts too. She loves all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we should do a show in LA, right? Jim, you can come on and do live on the scene.
I love it. Been doing that for years. I love
Such a
it.
pleasure. Thank you so much. I
The
really
pleasure is-
appreciate it. Appreciate your
Ah,
time.
the
Thank you,
pleasure is all mine.
everyone.
A terrific conversation, and it was so cool to meet you. And we'll chat some more. And Wayne, always the best. You're a class act, Wayne.
Thank you.
Even sideways, you're a class act.
We expect to see new followers after this, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. We're going to take this episode viral. That's what our aim is. And
right.
they're already saying you are a lovety, Dara. They've already Wayne's like a triple lovety. He's a lovety like 3 times
Oh,
over.
you're
on our
triple?
show.
Wait a second.
He's a triple lovety. But the viewers have said you are now a lovety on the Jim Masters Show live series. Crystal in Connecticut, thank you, Dara, for the fantastic conversation. I wish you continued success in all you do. I hope you come back to JMS soon, and take care.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Kathleen in New York City. Thanks for being here, Dara. Merlin in Canada. She's just west of Ontario. Dara, you are a lovety. Maureen in Arizona. Thanks for being here with us, Dara and Wayne. I wish you continued success in everything you do. Been a fun conversation, all kinds of stuff. Love it. You really be well. And if you know other folks you think like to pop on the show, they're all welcome. And loved having you here, and we'll keep the light on for you. You're always welcome back anytime, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Congratulations on everything.
Thank you. I'll see you soon. We'll keep updating you.
We will. Absolutely. You take care.
Follow us on Devon Halsey.
Devon Halsey. That's right.
Official. Okay.
Official.
Bye.
Take care.
You
Cheers.
too. Bye-bye.